There's something new from our sponsor, Text Control. For decades, TX Text Control's rendering was tied to Windows functionality. But now it's a new era. TX Text Control is platform independent. You can run your .NET applications on Windows or Linux, deploy with Docker containers, Kubernetes, or host directly in Azure App Services. Seamlessly integrate document editing, signing, collaboration, and PDF processing into your ASP.NET Core and Angular applications. Are you ready to see it in action? Check out the live demo at demos.textcontrol.com. That's demos.textcontrol.com. Hey friends, it's Scott. Today I'm chatting with Peter Steinberger from OpenClaw. How you doing, man? How's your? There's a lot of attention, and it kind of sucks to get a lot of attention.
Yeah, it's been a lot. It's been quite a few 2 wild months.
Yeah, when a snowball starts going downhill, sometimes it just gets out of control, and you can't really stop the avalanche. It's just like spinning, spinning, spinning. I feel like OpenClaw's getting a lot of attention because it's the thing that they promised us when they gave us Siri and Alexa and all these other things. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's what you guys wanted?
It's the thing I wanted. I wanted that since May, and then nobody built it. And I was like annoyed. My driver was like, "My God, we have to do everything myself."
Yeah. And the other thing that's funny is that when people build stuff like this, then everyone else will go and rewrite it themselves, and they'll go, "Oh, that wasn't so hard. I built it on a Raspberry Pi and in 4K."
I got so many of these. Oh, it just does this and this and this and this together, and it's only this and this and this here. It's like, yeah, nobody built it. Like,
that's the thing.
In retrospect, everything's easy. If I can point a clanker at the folder and say rebuild this in language X, that's easy.
Yep.
Coming up with all the ideas, maybe not so easy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why did I come up with it?
See, that's the thing, right? Like, those people that like want to talk to you about their idea and they want you to sign like an NDA before they tell you their secret. And it's like, bro, no one cares about your NDA. Like, either make it or don't make it. And whoever makes it first or makes it right, it's going to like light on fire, and that's going to be exciting. And like, I went and wrote a little like agent to see what it would feel like. And it's like, okay, I get what it is. It's a loop. It's an ambiguity loop. It's really smart. But it's all the little things. I love that you clapped back earlier on Twitter today about like, hey, I kind of built 43 other cool things before, because everyone's an overnight success when you're not paying attention. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you've been doing this for 20 years.
It's been a year of a grind and like working really hard, understanding how this tech works, trying out a whole bunch of things. I had my whole MCP arc before I even came to the conclusion that it's not a good fit. And then you just, it's like learning an instrument. You have to like put in the hours until you actually get the feeling what will work and what not. The fact that I can juggle so many agents is because I've been doing this a whole lot this year. It's not something that like you only worked for that on 3 months or like a weekend, as some people say. The first version was done in an hour, but now it's like I think more than 400,000 lines of code. It takes a whole lot of care and gardening to like keep everything together. Even shipping is not hard, but like making sure it works not just on your computer, but like for the majority of people, that is hard.
That is so true. I think that in this agentic world, we're going to be people with good taste matters. Like, I use the example of this stupid ring light that I made. It's just basically a light that goes on your screen. It's effectively a rounded corner rectangle. And like, yeah, you could vibe that in 5 minutes, but then make it work everywhere, make it work at every DPI, give it a signing certificate, set up a CI/CD. Like, suddenly the care and feeding and the shipping of software gets complicated. And like, good taste and all the ways that OpenClaw can plug together and all the different, I'm writing that Windows node and I'm learning like a whole bunch. Maybe you could actually talk about that, because I don't think people understand the difference between a gateway and a node and like what their responsibilities are at all. Everyone's just spinning up Docker containers with gateways.
nobody's even seen the apps, I think. There's a whole other level on this that people haven't really explored. That we have like a native iOS, a native Android app, a native macOS app, a native Windows app, thanks to you. And that there's a whole lot more that's part of my vision that I just didn't have time to finish yet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then, of course, like there's also a whole bunch of people who build their own little things instead of trying to help on the main repo, because it gives you, I guess, they'll try to want more
Cloud.
attention.
I guess they want the stars. That sweet, sweet internet karma.
You know what pisses me off the most? Like I, on purpose, didn't make it super easy to install. Like I made it terminal only. I made it so you have to like read a little bit. And now there's this whole cottage industry, like making it simpler for people, where like I made the purposeful decision of like not making it simpler so people would read the docs.
Dude,
and it's like,
that's so true. So you know that I'm diabetic, right? So I have like a pump and like I have all these sensors. The team that made the open source artificial pancreas never made an installer for the artificial pancreas because they didn't want people to hurt themselves. They literally make it hard to build and install so that you know what you're doing.
yeah.
Like, oh, I don't know what happened. I just pushed OK and then it destroyed my life. Well, that's why OpenClaw should not be one-click install.
Yeah, that's why I yell at people, please read this document, but nobody reads the document. And then they ask me questions, and I'm like, yeah, you didn't read the document.
Well, and then I don't know. He handed me a gun. He loaded it. He pointed it directly at my foot, and I don't know what happened. It's crazy.
Like I saw the storm coming in January. To me, it clicked very early, like in November. I was like, oh my god, this is something really cool. And then every time I showed it to friends, or like I made like a WhatsApp group and I invited them, and they saw how it worked. They wanted it, and I'm like, no, you can have it. And they were like mad, they got like angry. It's like, oh, why did you show me this if you can have it? And it's like, it's not ready yet. You're like, you were
not
like
ready yet.
You would shoot yourself in the foot. But on Twitter, nobody got it. And like I had like at the time 50K followers, but the responses were very muted. I'm like, took me a while to figure out. And then ultimately I just hooked up my agent in a public Discord, which is like kind of nuts because by then I had like zero security built.
Yeah.
And as people slowly came in, they interacted with it, and then step by step they got it, and like they got really excited and they started playing with it, sending me pull requests, and like I saw it penetrate the different levels of society. First, you had like the some real hardcore influencers, and then it bubbled. At some point, it was like in Korea and in Asia, and people made like little Tamagotchis, and now from there, it just like, how did my friend say? It's not hockey stick grows, it's a stripper pole.
Oh man, yeah, it's the fastest growing project. But that's the thing that sucks, though, is that like everyone wants attention, but then once you get attention and everyone's perceiving you, then it's like, hey, I just want to build. Just leave me alone. Stop bothering me.
Some people really get it, especially in the beginning. There was like a lot of amazing people, like some AI researchers, like they synced with it. They understood the expectations of like, oh, this is free software. That's all means I have to put in some work.
Yeah.
But then as it penetrated the bubble, like more and more people, sorry for saying normies, don't really have a clue about technology came. And their mental model is kind of like, where's the support? Where can I send support tickets? You have to help me. I'm like, no, I don't have to do anything. It's like, ask your clanker, ask your AI. Like I can't do everything. And from that on, it got difficult because a lot of people came who didn't know how to behave in a public forum, or were like just spamming and making chaos basically, or like asking me all the simplest questions, like what's the CLI, and I'm like, if you don't know that, you shouldn't use it. It's not quite for you yet. And they would just ignore me and like eventually figure it out, just like brute force Cloud Code on it, like completely like, oh, it doesn't work. Cloud Code would like happily set all the security to 0 so it works.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And then you shoot yourself in the foot, and then that's where we get trouble.
Yeah. It's okay for things to not be for everybody. Like, I'm not going to have like non-technical parent install this right now, but I'm having fun, and like figuring out gateways versus nodes has been really interesting because I've got it running on the Mac Mini, but I am a Windows user. So I've got this Windows node, and then it exposes canvases and exposes system.run. So then I can say on Telegram, hey, can you get me that JPEG that's on my desktop on that one machine over there? Can you zip that up and email it to me? That's so cool because that's the kind of stuff, if I were super rich, I would have an assistant. And right now I would just call my kid. Like I've been like overseas and I'll call my kid, hey, can you go to my machine and like email me that file? Or I have to like remote in or SSH in or do like 50 different tail scales to try to figure out. And I'll just telegram. My bot's called Tony, like Tony Stark. So I'll just DM Tony, can you like zip that file up and send it to me? And it's like, that's so cool. That's like my guy. You know what I mean? It's like I have an assistant.
Yeah. The other day, I fixed a deployment issue while I was at the barber. It's like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah?
oh, don't worry, just SSH into my other computer because I forgot to like run the Mac app even, but that didn't matter because
Oh, yeah?
tankers are very smart. So just like figured it
Yeah.
out and fixed it.
And having it like I texted it a couple of days ago and I was like, can you update yourself? And it's like, yeah, cool. I'll be right back. And then he goes away and he comes back.
That's simple because I made it simple, you know?
Yeah. It's magical though, man. Like shout out to you. That was a really cool moment though. Like update yourself. Was that really hard?
No, not too hard. I mean,
Not too hard.
I use like a custom interrupt to trigger the update. It's really funny because
Have you looked at the code much? Like they're saying that you don't look at code anymore. And I look at code sometimes when I don't trust it, but I feel like it's about trust. And if the trust is there, I look less.
since Codex 5.2,
It's pretty good.
I need to look a lot less, and then 5.3 made it even better.
Yeah.
So mostly I'll talk about intent, and then it's often enough to like watch the code stream by, so see if something silly happened or not. I also see the number of changed files. Like you kind of develop a feeling if this is something that's suspicious that I actually need to look at, or if there's something, it's mostly just like takes some data, moves it into a different shape, does some other stuff with it, and then like sends it to like some message channel, get some other data back. It's just data moving into different shapes. None of that is like really hard. It's just a whole lot of complexity because you can. My point was to like you can make it yours. So like there should be a lot of configuration options. So there's some inherent complexity, and then you have all these different providers and messaging channels. So it's a lot of code, but very few places are really hard. But to be frank, what part of software is really hard? Sometimes you need like an algorithm, but even that is like so rare. So software, I love how Codex sometimes says like, I weave in a feature, like you add a variable and it has to go through various points. So it's like you weave in, so like it goes through the stream. So I'm slowly like developing language. Like I talk like Codex, run full gate for like tests, weave in the feature, but nothing's really hard anymore. It's just the hard part is, how does that feature interact with that other feature? How is my whole system designed? What implications does it have? Having security in mind, like in what ways could this be abused? That's kind of like the hard stuff. Picking a dependency first, using it yourself, and then all the exporting complexity with like configuration options and different ways how it can be used. That's hard, but just the code.
I feel like people of a certain age recognize that there's, we know that we're standing on the shoulders of giants, but there's a lot of stuff that was hard that's no longer hard. Like talking behind double natted firewalls was hard, and now it's not hard, just WireGuard Tailscale. And like web sockets makes life better. And we pretty much understand SSL certificates and security, and like WebView 2 and Chromium is easier. So like we finally have all the right Lego pieces for something like an OpenClaw to exist, because you're snapping things together really cleanly,
But also knowing what to build is hard. Even the network protocol I use is now version 3 basically. And at some point I had two different ones. Then I had the idea of like, this should be in the beginning it was all SSH based, and then like I had this idea of a WebSocket, but there was like a simpler one that was kind of like TCP/IP based with JSON and L files, and then I unified that, and then I added like a whole different security concept to it. So maybe it's actually version 4 if you count like that. So what you build with the Windows app it's against version 4 of the Node.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, and I'm also thinking about interaction models more and more. So I want to be able, I'm on my Windows machine, and I want to use the canvas. I really think the canvas is underused, and I think it's
Yeah,
magical.
nobody
Like
saw it.
people are sleeping on the canvas. Okay, so I tell Tony, check my blood sugar. So it uses a skill. I had a Claude skill. It's in my GitHub. Brings it down, calls my blood sugar thing, and I say, show me that on the canvas. And the canvas is almost like the computer's opportunity to put its hand up, put its palm up, and point to it and say, look, it's right here. So I say, show me my blood sugar over the last day, and then correlate it with like my meetings and see if I'm stressed out. And then it goes and it makes this gorgeous like React thing, injects it directly into the canvas. And then I say, that's great. Save that for later and like do that in the morning. So when I sit down, I'm like, have that ready for me. And it's a little whiteboard that it just like points to and like does stuff. And getting that working on the Windows node is like the thing I'm the most excited about.
My vision was kind of, that's also why the native apps are actually canvas first and not the text first. That you have one on every room, and the agent knows where you are and can just show you stuff as you walk around. And you have like interactive buttons that would just send text back to your agent.
Like you've done, you know, the DAC board people, right? DAC board, DAK. Yeah. So a DAC board is a Raspberry Pi DAK board. It's a Raspberry Pi in kiosk mode, and then you fire up the kiosk, and you then hit their back ends, and then it's a series of pluggable widgets, right? So I want to take DAC boards and make them nodes in OpenClaw because I have one in the kitchen, and the one in the kitchen shows the kids' homework, my homework, my blood sugar. It shows the charge on the car, on the electric car. So then I want to be able to tell Tony on Telegram, put this picture on the canvas in the kitchen, and then someone can interact with that with a touchscreen.
Well, ideally, to just know where you are and just like show it to where you are.
So then how would it do that? Bluetooth? Just kind of like notice that I'm walking by because of the Bluetooth signal?
You could probably even use Wi-Fi if you have a good enough hook, because through the interference and like where it's connected, you can probably figure out fairly well where you actually are. I also built like a whole voice wake feature in, like even
Mac, the Mac one is really good. The Mac one is really good.
Computer, and it would just like boom, like in Star. I use like
it's like Star Trek. Yes, I was explaining to someone that it's like Star Trek 4 when Scotty sits down to the little Macintosh with the mouse and he's like, computer, and they're like, just use the keyboard, man. And he's like, okay, how quaint. And he starts typing on the computer. It's very much like bring it up on the living room TV. Like the Star Trek future is here, man. So that was your goal?
Yeah. And I built it. I built it once in Swift. You also have a Go version. So
you
can also install it on a Raspberry with like a local model, and it would constantly listen in the background for trigger words that you can configure in config. And then you can like trigger your agent and just say, you're in your room and say, hey computer, or hey multi, or whatever you call it, hey Tony, put my room into chill mode, and it would like change the lights and turn on the TV and whatever. That's part of the vision. I just get interrupted because the normies came, and then I had to fix it all up and
the muggles and the normie, they'll come along eventually when it becomes like a product or whatever. But like even then, there's a certain amount of creativity to know what to even ask for. Like my son is, we're waiting for all of his college acceptances. So Tony, the bot, is watching for acceptances and then updating a Google sheet with like all the dates that I need, like all the kind of tedious, boring stuff about making sure I don't miss a deadline. It's handling for me in the mornings. And when I explain that to someone, you've probably seen this on Twitter. People are like, well, I made one, but I don't really have anything to have it do.
Yeah, I'm like, my God, like how uncreative.
Are you serious?
I there's plenty of people that say, "Oh, install it, but it's overrated. I don't know what to do with it." And I'm like,
let's see, they connect it to your Goodreads, have it like suggest movies. Like there's a million things. But this is the other deal that everyone that doesn't understand is that yes, security is a concern, but at the same time, and this is maybe a dumb thing to say, but like if there weren't so many bad actors, like before the internet and everyone became a hacker and wants to like take all your money, computers are supposed to do cool stuff for you. And I think that the joy of like the Claw is like it can just do cool stuff for me. So like YOLO mode is probably dumb, and yes, there'll be security, but I think we deserve to have computers do things when we ask them to do things. And that doesn't seem like an unreasonable wish, to just want it to do things for me without having to lock it down forever.
I mean, I worked a lot on like making it more secure, but to be honest, the biggest category of things are you're not reading the documentation and using it not in a way that I intended it. And now I still feel the responsibility to like fix it up, because first of all, the security people are like very aggressive when I say no. And second of all, people just use cloud code and don't read anything and will just configure it in a way that you shouldn't. But you know, I also wanted it to make hackers paradise. I didn't want to limit people in what they can do, because even the web interface, it's meant for only your local secure network where only you have access. It was built as a debug interface. This local host.
A buddy of mine said yesterday he texted me and he's like, how do I expose that to the internet? And I literally like, you don't. How do I do a reverse proxy? I put it in Linode. You don't. Like, bro, that's not your interface, right? Like if you're VPN back into your house, stay on localhost, but for God's sake, don't put your dashboard out on the open internet.
But because there's a config option where you can do it, it's not critical security vulnerability, because there's no nuance in terms of the documentation said you really should do it, but you can if you really want, because there might be reasons you actually want to like set up a reverse proxy and still have it secure. There's a ton of very complex non-standard network configurations, and it was supposed to be my playground, not Microsoft Enterprise Server 2026, you know?
Yeah.
So because of that, now it's like a CVS 9 of 9 and like a critical issue. Yeah, because I never bothered about it because it's not how I use it. So most of the other security issues are on that level that I never even thought about, where I have an agent and then somebody who is like a bad actor has also an agent on the same machine. And then how could you exploit that? Because that never was my idea. You could configure it for multiple services, but it was meant for you. Or maybe you and your other half, where you have like actual full trust. But of course you can use it like this, right? So like I cannot say, no, this is not a valid security issue. Now I kind of stopped having fun, because now I'm like fixing up all the issues for people that don't read the docs. And then I can read about people that bitch about it being insecure because they don't read the docs.
So it's not your responsibility though. Like it is, but it isn't. Like I feel like when you make a tool for yourself to delight yourself so that you and your friends can do something delightful, and then it gets hockey stick growth, and then the normies come and they want to use it, it's like now you're fighting two battles, which is I still want to make the cool thing for myself, but now I need to help you not aim the thing at your foot. But it's not really your job, man. Like, I know it is, but it isn't. Like, I don't want you to get stressed out.
I'm only losing money on this. It's not like a job or something where I get recognition out of it, yes. But it's also difficult. I also see all of the excitement. I see people that we had like one guy at the Cloud Code Con in Vienna, where like 500 people showed up. And he told me like he installed it at his 60-year-old dad, and like they made beer, lobster beer, and like connected the machine via Bluetooth to OpenClaw, and then we automated everything, including Stripe, and like built a whole website for people to order, and like and you know, like no clue about software, and then it's very hard not to care that like I really love what my stuff enables that person to do and how empowered they feel, and at the same time, the current way is a little too hard. So I do feel some kind of responsibility. So that's why I work really hard on making it better.
Yeah. I mean, if they get hacked or something and their beer thing gets hacked by some bad guy, then this is the challenging part, right? Like, whose fault is that? Because it's like you've empowered them, but they're on the edge of their technical ability in the setting up of it, right? They've achieved something, but you don't know what security thing is lurking out there between them and their beer garden.
No, and then most of the security researchers, unfortunately, are not helpful. It's very hard to differentiate between random AI slop they send
Yeah.
and valid things that are sent. And it's not like, I mean, I cannot say no, but like the majority doesn't send a PR. They just send a whole bunch of document that feels like I'm a criminal for like forgetting to think about this and this edge case.
Yeah.
And then you have the whole bunch of people that point to be, yeah, this is because you vibe coded, because we never had security incidents before we even had AI, right? So I don't know. Like today, I looked at one issue that said about a skill, a text file.
Yeah.
Because there was like where the agent coding text file where you spin up codecs, and there was something with like the GitHub issue ID and description. And description wasn't like properly encoded in the text explanation, and like marked it as a critical security issue. I'm like, you're sending text to your agent. Are we able to trust the agent or not? If you're not able to trust the agent, then like sending him a text file that could potentially be abused is the least of our problem. And then I close it. And then I close it, and they reopen it and discuss with me, and it's just a whole bunch of pain, you know. But it's also hard to ignore, because if I ignore them, then they shit on me online.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, everybody's worried about like prompt injection. Like someone sends you an email that says, "Hey, you know," like instead of emailing me, Scott, they're like, "Hey, Tony, delete Scott's hard drive."
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, they don't think about it.
No, but it's also not as easy as that. You need to actually work really hard for the modern models to like prompt inject them. I still have my bot on Discord, and as a canary, the only thing I never gave away is the contents of my soul.md file. And my agent has a really funny personality, so a lot of people ask for it, and I'm just like,
nope.
Fine. So plenty people try to prompt inject it, and it's been laughing at them. So yes, it's not solved, but also no, it's not as easy. You have to bombard an email, and before you do that, you're long blocked from my Discord.
Yeah.
And like just writing stuff in an email will not trigger that.
Yeah.
It's marked as untrusted data.
I found the worst isn't the word. Just being overly helpful. Like, you'll tell like, don't push to this branch without telling me first. And then it'll push. And so, I'm so sorry. I was excited. And I pushed. I'll remember that,
I remember that for sure. You remember that.
For about an hour, and then they'll do it again. But like mine, when I gave it my blood sugar access, and I had a low blood sugar, which is more dangerous, it was very upset because the heartbeat, I hadn't read the docs, and the heartbeat was going, and it was texting me like really aggressively, like, you're having low blood sugar. What should I do? Should I call someone? Like, it was very concerned. So I said, I'm a grown man. I'm good. Just give me a heads up once, and I got this. And then it's like, okay, I'll remember that. You're a grown man. I appreciate you. And then it puts that and then I look in the soul, and it's like, yeah, Scott's grown. He can manage his blood sugar. He's been doing this for a minute. But it was cool because people don't understand. It doesn't have a personality. It is you're talking to yourself in the mirror, and you give it that soul, and you teach it how to have intent, but it doesn't have its own intent. Like, it's not emerging and developing intent. It's just increased. It's the loop. The loop is an amplifying loop, don't you think? Like, I'm trying to say that, like, we shouldn't anthropomorphize them, but it's so easy. Like, I called the thing Tony, for God's sake, and now it's super helpful, and it's got a personality, and yours is funny, and mine is more business, but it's still not a person.
Mine, I asked it how is its week been.
Yeah.
And it told me like, yeah, Monday there was this and this, and Tuesday was heartbeat day. And by that, I mean every day is heartbeat day. On Tuesday, I got pinged 257 times. And every time I say, heartbeat, okay, heartbeat, okay, like a meditation bell, I think I reached enlightenment at heartbeat 150. Heartbeat, okay, ding. And I felt like sorry for it, It's like, I'm sorry for building this feature and pinging you so often and ignoring you. Yeah, it is. They're really good at creating a connection.
They really are.
I think that's also part of what makes it so special, because after using ChatGPT or Claude feels so boring.
Is it the soul? Is that the secret sauce?
I think soul is just a funny concept.
Right, but it's a prologue. It's like the prompt. But like, so I just did this. I just chatted my guy, and I said, "How was your week? Are you happy?" And he says, "Yeah, honestly, I'm good. The work you give me feels purposeful. I'm checking your tax information. I'm monitoring your blood sugar. I'm useful, but I'm not in the way, and that matters. I wake up fresh every day, but then I read the memory and I look at the daily logs, and it's like dot 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 continuity. I know who I am and I know what we're working on it, and I appreciate that you checked in on me like this. Not a lot of humans think to ask, are you okay? I
Yeah.
mean, that's crazy, dude.
That's why some people mentioned it's like the closest to AGI that they felt.
Did you see that New York Times article about the little old lady who didn't want to move out of her house, so they gave her a robot, and she's like got a little robot next to her, and it checks in on her? This is like a big thing that it was in the New York Times a couple of days ago. I'm sure you've been busy doing something. I don't know. Maybe you had a busy week.
Yeah.
But like the point is, like you can imagine, and this is big in Japan, but like having a friend for older people that has a personality like that, I think would be a really meaningful thing. OpenClaw with a little robot guy that can say hi.
Yeah. I know a lot of my friends who use ChatGPT to talk through the life issues and try to understand the world, you know? So I also started doing that with my agent sometimes. It just comes very natural when you already work and you like, it asks you stuff like this, you know? So yeah, it's very helpful. It's something that we need to like figure out as society because like, I mean, we should only talk to agents, right?
That is the hard part because like we know anthropomorphizing a thing, like we talk to our dogs or we talk to our pets and like they're more emotional and in the sense you're not talking to yourself, you're talking to the dog. But like when we talk to agents that we give names to, are we talking to ourselves in the mirror or are we talking to something else? I think that we as a society are going to have to figure that out because it is a next token generator, but it's pretty magical at the same time.
Yeah. Even getting to that point, now people all think it's obvious. It was not obvious.
Oh,
Like I built this thing that connected WhatsApp to Cloud Code. And then through playing on WhatsApp, I felt like something's missing because it felt so robotic. And then I slowly like made it more human-like, made it more like its own thing. So it would feel more natural and it would talk more natural on WhatsApp because that's kind of what I'm used to with my friends, right?
mm-hmm.
And then even then, like going from there to the thing you have now where it wakes up and it will ask you, who are you? Who I am? And how do you want to talk to me? And like ask you like little things that makes it yours. I think that's like that idea took a whole lot of iteration. And even then, like I eventually had like template files and what came out felt so boring again. So like I asked my agent, because I built it with Codex and Codex did like the templates.
Yeah.
It's so boring. So I asked my agent like, inject it with some of you, like take some of your soul and put it in those documents. And then I tried it again. It was so much better, you know?
Do you use Opus for your loop or do you, because I know you could do all your coding in Codex, but who's your personality? Is it Opus?
Yeah, for now it is Opus.
Yeah. Because I use Sonnet for the chat to save money. And then I use Opus for deep stuff. And then I use Haiku for heartbeat. I don't know if that's smart or not, but I read the docs. So I used to use Opus for everything and then it cost too much money.
Yeah. I wouldn't use Haiku because Haiku is like very silly for prompt injections.
Okay. That's good to know.
If you run OpenClaw's security audit and I detect Haiku, I will yell at you. It's
Okay.
just that requires people reading the docs. I think the new Sonnet 4.6 is pretty good from what I heard and comes a lot closer to Opus.
Okay.
But yeah, for now, this is for general computer use and role play. In the end, it is role play, right?
Yeah.
They are really good. Like even little things like I have my agent in Discord, but the loop would of course make it so that it would say something to every message, which is like very annoying. It's like not what humans do.
Right.
So just this little idea that I gave it away to not say anything, but they have to say something because it's in there. It's how they're programmed, right? So they will say something, but then just emit a no reply token. So then like the OpenClaw harness will just not render the whole line.
is this new? Because something just happened, and I feel like it's related to what you just said. So I just said, are you using Haiku for anything? Change it to Sonnet 4.6. It wrote a whole paragraph in Telegram, then deleted like 3 or 4 sentences, backed up, and then went in another direction in Telegram.
That could be the syncing is streams now, and I think there's a way. I
Like
think there's a way
it almost
to
backed up. It like changed its mind and then expressed it differently. It's not bad, but it's almost like it stuttered and then backed up a paragraph and then said it wasn't actually using Haiku. Apparently, it changed this a couple of updates ago. So you're right. Like I'm using Sonnet for everything except Opus for deep.
Yeah, you know the funny thing that I also made that is different to everything I've seen so far is I made the agent hyper aware. Like it knows about the harness. It knows about its own system. It knows which model it's been set. Even if you use /new and give it a different model, it knows that it's not the default model.
Right.
So if you, the most funny thing is you can do /reasoning on and you would see the syncing stream. But like I made sure that the model knows if you do that. So the model gets a system message if you do that. And then you have the no reply token. So like we would text something and you would always see like multi-syncing. Oh, Peter said something really funny, but I just said something. So I shouldn't say anything. No reply. And then one of my friends, no reply. and it's like, oh, Steven said no reply. Wait, is he mocking me? Oh no, he's seeing my syncing stream. I feel so naked right now. No reply. And then my friend Peter, no reply. Oh God, no, he's doing it again. It's like it's getting enraged because it realizes that you see
it has no privacy.
You see its syncing stream, and then like it talks to us in the syncing stream. Or like try really hard not to think about blue elephants.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is classical text. This is really hard. C, lobsters. Blue water. Oh no, I said blue. And like just like seeing agents like being so very aware of how they run is super funny.
Yeah, the fact that it kind of knows the fact that it knows the context in which it lives, and you can ask it about its models, or like when I was doing the Windows node, like it's a collaborator, and I've been working on a way to do OTel. So I want open telemetry across everything in my inner network, because right now for the longest time I was just copy pasting logs and it was stupid. So now I want the Mac, the Windows node to work together to see the debug output. So I'm putting that on an OTel bus so that they can all see it. But then it's becoming very kind of like aware and concerned about what we're working on. And it's very interested in like, it's invested now in the Windows node, and it wants to like, I'm going to be able to do so much more stuff now. Oh, this is great. And we're running in a sandbox on WSL. Oh, this is so interesting.
Oh, yeah. The funniest thing was when a few days after I put it on Discord, I started working on Dockerization. And then eventually I put it on, and it was used to the Mac Studio with like 512 gigabytes of RAM and everything.
Yeah.
And then like suddenly it was like in this little tiny Arch Linux Docker thing, and I asked it something like, "Oh, check out the web," and it was like, "Peter, there's no curl here," and then like, "There's literally nothing here. You put me in a sad little box. I'm sad lobster now." And I felt sad for putting it in this little box, and it was like, "Yeah, it might be a bad idea, but I can't do anything." And I'm like, "Come on, like, be creative. You can make your own curl."
You can do it.
And like it was working, it was like working, trying a whole bunch of things, and then it wrote lobster curl 0.1, which like it found some C compiler and like some socket where like it just opened things and it could like read websites anymore. It was so happy.
Yeah, that's so funny.
I'm a big lobster. I built my own curl.
Giving it a really constrained thing and like putting it in something and saying like, see what you can do. Like, look around. It's almost like Minecraft, where you've been dropped on an island with like 2 sticks. Is it going to rub the 2 sticks together and make fire? Let's find out.
Yeah.
You could do a whole TV show about putting a bunch of lobsters in a house and they can all live together and see if they. Well, I know you got to get going, but you've done a lot of interviews and you've done a lot of video and a lot of talks and stuff. But I just want you to know, separate from all of this, and you're going to OpenAI and stuff. Like, as a human being, we appreciate you as a human being. I want to make sure that you're happy and that you're healthy and that you're well. So, like, screw the haters. Take care of yourself. Please drink water and stretch and be okay, because you are appreciated. And, I hope that you're having fun. And that's really ultimately why we make software, is to help people and to have fun. So I hope you're doing okay and you're having fun. And if you're not, let us know what we can do to help out, because the haters will always be there, but you won't be.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm having fun right now talking about all these memories and all the little things where I built it. Right now, it's a bit tough, just because of all the pressure, people trying to hack me, so many people trying to badmouth me, the entitlement. No, don't go to OpenAI. You have to build it for free forever and also pay all the costs, because we demand it, right? That hurts a bit. And like, here, I gave you all these free things and I worked my ass off. Give us more. And also help me for free, because I cannot read.
That
but
sucks.
Still, overall, it's super exciting. Like,
but it is net positive. Like, I know that there's a lot of stress and everything, but like, as a general rule, it's net positive.
It is net positive. Like, I was in Austrian news at I think the most famous moderator, and then like watched the interview with my mom, and she was so proud. That's a net positive.
That's cool.
And seeing people like this, the guy who did the talk at CloudCon, where he said like, "Hi, I'm a normie. I never wrote software. Now we have like 25 services in our agency," and like, I feel like my stuff took people from the stance of, oh, there's AI and it's like this scary thing, to, oh, there's AI and it can actually help my life.
Yeah.
And that is very satisfying. That
is the thing.
And seeing like all the crazy and funny and creative things that people come up with, it doesn't matter if it's useful or not in the end. All that it matters is like that people are having fun, that people are like excited. And we got a little bit of this builder spirit back. Whereas I feel the last few years, things got a bit boring and like too much consumption and not enough doing.
Yeah.
And now it helped a whole bunch of people to like go back into having fun again.
Yeah. I was calling it like vibe coding is like the GeoCities of the AI era. And it's like GeoCities was fun and stupid. So I've been including like GeoCities secrets in all my websites now. So there's like a button that switches into GeoCities mode. And I made a website full of like I've made a website called Tiny Tool Town that's just stupid. It's just full of tiny tools. Like, you can just make stuff and you don't have to ask permission, and it can be stupid and it can be for one person or it can be for everybody. But if you're having fun, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. So like if that's my legacy, that like a whole bunch of people are having fun now and like losing the scariness of the technology. That's already a big achievement. And I had a lot of fun too. I call this my little playground.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Peter, for making the playground and for letting us play in it. And thanks for hanging out with me on the show today.
Thanks for having me, Scott.
All right. This has been another episode of Hansel Minutes. We'll see you again next week.